What up? What up? What up, good people? It is the fallout from the Royal Rumble. So, I am joined, as always, by my man, the Playmaker. What up, Playmaker?
What's up? What is up?
And I am your boy, Cool McCain. And I just have one thing that I want to ask everybody really, really quickly.
What do you guys want to talk about?
When did you grab that?
Sir, that's been in the stash since we started.
Now you picked the time to use it.
This was the moment. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, I'm gonna let Playmaker answer that question since I quote unquote asked it.
It's bittersweet. So, if you don't know, we got some massive news coming. Okay, we got some massive news to tell you. We're not gonna say it now, but it's some massive news, and that's what makes it bittersweet. All right.
Hey, you can start off with it if you want to, man. You can start off with it.
I'm gonna wait for it. I'm gonna tie it into the Rumble. I'm gonna tie it into the Rumble because that's when it happened at the Rumble. So. But okay, I'm gonna be a little biased. I'm gonna be a little biased. For me, Royal Rumble was nothing less than a B because they gave me my favorite commentary team out the gate. So I was like, oh, I'm good. I am good for the rest of the night. Once Pat McAfee came out, I was like, yes, everything is right for the Rumble. I got Corey Graves, Michael Cole, and Pat McAfee on commentary. I don't need nothing else right now. I am good for the rest of the show.
I feel that.
So, like I pressed my comments. I said I'm being biased here, okay? Because look, everybody, cool. We never talked about that, but I'm pretty sure you in the same boat. Everybody loves Pat McAfee when he goes to commentary. Pat McAfee on commentary, go. Corey Graves on commentary, go. Michael Cole in the middle. What more can you ask for?
Platinum. Diamond. That should be the team every premium live event.
Big live event. Because, Pat McAfee got like 5 different jobs, so scheduling wise.
I mean, I'm saying it should be. I'm not saying it's able to be. I'm just saying it should be.
But the big events, yes. Like the Royal Rumble, yes. WrestleMania, hopefully.
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam's a little tricky. That's around the time football's about to start. So that's a little tricky.
Hey, we just need him for one night. That's it.
It's a little tricky, but yeah, Pat McAfee, you gonna love it. You would not hear me complain one bit. So I was like, WrestleMania's already at a B. You gave me Pat McAfee, we're off and running already. We didn't even get to the first match yet, which was the women's Royal Rumble. Shout out to me because I actually called the card. I caught the card. Just look. Match of the Rumble was the first match. I'm sorry to say it. The ladies stole the show.
And they was caked up and caked out too.
Naomi is back. Entrance number 2. Feel the glow. Everybody was hyped on that. Then we got to entry number 5, and Cool, you want to introduce the people? Was it 5 or 3? I think it was 3. Let's take that back. I think it was 3. But do you want to introduce who came in early in the Rumble?
I'm trying to think. I can't remember if it was 5 or 3. It might have been 5, but I heard a thunderstorm. And I know what the thunderstorm means. Miss Thickums herself. Jay Cargill.
Nope, I was talking about Jordan.
You talking about who?
Jordan. The knockout.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I've only got my bad. You were right.
I said 3 or 5.
I only got one person in my mind. My bad, y'all.
Work
So
with me
Jordan
here,
Grace-
man.
So Jordan Grace comes in. Jordan Grace is the TNA Impact Women's Champion. She just won that belt from Naomi. So they had a great moment where they kind of hugged each other, and then they started fighting. But listen, when I tell y'all Jordan Grace is a woman, that's a powerhouse. And when I saw her come down with the TNA Women's Championship, I'm like, this is crazy. Like, Mickie James was part of TNA and she participated. But correct me if I'm wrong, she wasn't the champion at the time.
No, she was the champion.
She was the champion too? Okay.
She was the
So they
champion.
only like to do champions. Okay.
But the thing was, to a degree, Mickie James was already part of WWE anyway, so
Yeah, it was one of them overlap things. Like Jordan Grace is not part of WWE.
she's never stepped in WWE.
Yeah, so for her to
And
have
they
the
gave her
opportunity
that,
to
and they
win-
gave her that green light. And they let her do her stuff too. It
she
wasn't
was
one
in
of
there for a
those.
minute.
It wasn't one of those. All right, we gave you a little spotlight. All right, you get tossed out. No, she was doing some things.
Some things.
Hey, Triple H, love what you're doing there, you know. And I like what he said during the press conference. I'm not gonna call it a door or whatever this is, okay? If there's an opportunity to bring in talent from the other companies for an event like the Rumble, why
Right.
not?
And see, that's a big thing because that was unexpected for everybody. But whenever he gets up here, we got to shout out Damien because Damien did pick that.
Yep, I give him that.
I'll definitely give you props when you deserve it. I'm gonna ride you when you don't, but when you deserve it, I'm gonna give you your props. He did call that.
Now, here's the crazy thing, you know. Here's something that I know. I don't know if you noticed. As the match was going, right, I'm like, damn, we about to be 1/3 through the match. We only had one elimination so far.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how long this is gonna keep going? Did you notice that?
Oh yeah, and then so I already believed that my girl was gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? So if you know me, there's a couple women that I'm like.
I would say this. I know there's some people when they hear word Rumble, they come with the pre-known expectation of what's gonna happen. I actually like the way WWE did both Rumbles. You didn't have the big return or the big Hall of Fame. Perfect. You know why? WWE showed you how deep they is.
They didn't have to go outside. They didn't have to go bring in some dude that don't wrestle no more. They got enough actual talent in the company right now. Loved it.
So I love the fact they outside of TNA, they kept it in house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have a deep roster, both men and women. Let's put them out there. Tiffany Strash. Good Lord.
All right, before you
Perez.
continue, Playmaker, we're gonna introduce somebody into the mix.
Uh-oh.
We want to welcome to the stage the one that some people call Wise Off.
The
Some
wise
people call
man.
the big homie.
The
But everybody
wise
calls
man.
him
What up,
Wise.
man? What's going on?
Hey. What up, Wise?
Real quick, Wise. Think of the Triple H giving the opportunity to the TNA knockout champ.
I loved it. Well, like I flipped out when she actually came out. Like even my wife was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Yo, this is something that's different. They don't do this. This is the current TNA Knockouts champion in the Royal Rumble." Yeah, I know they did it with Mickie James and all that, but this is saying. But Mickie has a good relationship with WWE, so
That's
it
what,
was easy to work that out. But to actually get the current TNA Knockouts champion on and have her show off she did well for herself. She didn't eliminate nobody, but she did well for herself in there.
And shout out to the St. Pete crowd for knowing who she was and knowing when her and Naomi got face to face, they understood the magnitude of it. Shout out to the St. Pete crowd for understanding what was happening.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what? I see. Florida fans are very knowledgeable when it comes to wrestling.
They're
Like,
diehards.
wrestling is like it's football and wrestling for people in Florida.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So, as we get to the match, we got some things going. Now, cool. I want you to be honest here. When Bayley came out at number 15, how was you feeling?
Oh, when she came out at 15, I'm like, yeah.
You still feeling good?
Yeah.
Because it's the halfway point. So that means she got to go to the other half, the whole distance.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was feeling good. When she came out, I was very confident in my pick.
Okay.
Felt good.
It comes out the halfway point. We got all types of stuff going on here. We still have few. Halfway through the Rumble's match with the women, we still had little eliminations.
Bayley came out when?
Sorry. I'm
Bayley
thinking
came out third, man.
Yeah, Bayley came out third. Yeah, I'm thinking about I'm saying Bayley, but my mind's I got Jade on the brain.
Oh, I'm gonna get to her.
Yeah, I got Jade on the brain. So that's on me.
We talking about who stole the show.
I got Jade on the brain.
No, but that's okay because Jade was looking good. But
we gonna get to Jay. But
before
you
we
know,
get to Jay,
I just wanted to ask. I just want to ask how he felt. How he felt when Bayley came out. The number
because she came out like third, and I was like, yeah,
she was number 3.
I didn't. Yeah. So I still was good because I was like, the narrative they have to tell, right? Like you got to think about it. Like Cody had to come out midway. He couldn't be near the end because of what happened last year.
Yeah.
But when I saw, so there was a point in the match, and we haven't got to all these people, but I'm sorry I cannot hold this anymore. There was a point in the match where Naomi was on the left, Bianca was in the middle, and Jay was on the right, and they were all turned like at an angle, and it was a cake fest. And I was appreciative of the WWE and the cameraman for allowing me, and no disrespect to those Lavely's spouses, but allowing me to see triple caked up and caked out. So thank you, WWE, for that.
There's a lot of women in there, and including Nia Jax. So while Nia Jax was being Nia Jax, dominating the Rumble as she's supposed to when you're that big.
She did dominate, yeah.
It got to number 20. It got to number 28, and the roof came off. Tropicana Field.
This is why I said she would make her appearance here, because I knew this was where it made the most sense. This is where it made the most sense to launch her, was the Royal Rumble.
And which means
the road to WrestleMania.
Cool, a storm had arrived.
I heard the storm and I was like,
Corey Graves lost his mind.
He wasn't.
That made even more. Corey Graves losing his mind.
She is she is a star. When you look at people at certain talent and you know they have it, she has it. She has.
Okay. See, it's one thing to finally see her actually debut in the ring. It's another thing. She picked up Nia Jax with ease.
Multiple times.
Like, whoa!
But
she's single. It took 11 women to eliminate Nia Jax last year. Jay did it by herself.
And she looks sexy doing it.
And to top it all off, guess who's standing next to Jade with the biggest shocked smile look on her face?
The man. And I saw a meme that said the minute when Becky Lynch realized she wasn't going to win the Rumble.
Oh, listen, it was. I actually enjoyed the women's Royal Rumble more than I did the men's. So it was good. The match was good itself. Chelsea Green was the punching bag of the.
Somebody saw my messages.
She was getting abused.
I was enjoying every moment of it too. And Corey Graves over there, he couldn't stand it.
The best part, though, I will say the best part
Oh, I was gonna get to that because that was the next
was
part.
the standoff between Bianca Belair
You had, by the fact,
and the
before we get to
aforementioned.
that, Liv Morgan came back as the final entrance of the Royal Rumble.
That was a good moment too. I like that.
Yes, I didn't think the WWE was going to get rid of her. She's another one that's very talented and has really worked hard to get where she's at. So to see them give her another opportunity and not turn their backs on her after her recent arrest, it's good, man. And she's the one who got rid of Jade, man. That was kind of surreal.
Because the reason why I brought it, because Cool was finna go into that stand though. Bianca Belair was military person Liv Morgan, while Jay was military person Becky Lynch. And I love what Corey Graves said. This is not a Spider-Man me.
and you know what? And it's crazy, right? Because I didn't realize Bianca was that big. Like when you see Jade, right? You see how cut up and how. But if you look at Bianca like is a big girl.
Mm-hmm.
She ain't called the EST for no reason.
Yeah, it's like I'm like
Cakes was on display.
And that's did you not see that crowd got hype when them two locked eyes?
I didn't know what happened in the crowd, sir, because I was in my own zone.
Oh, people were standing up and applauding like, "Oh,
it was good. It was
this
good.
is about to go down."
Yeah, I saw a couple of like I went back and watched the big moments. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I missed some of them. Because something else happened that kind of threw me off for a little bit of the show, but I was able to reel it back in. But I went and watched the big moments that I might have missed because I was so engulfed in them. And yeah, it was a nice moment. It's a good moment. I enjoyed it.
I love they teased it. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
There's going to be so many great matches in the near future with her, with
Obviously,
Nia and Jade, and it's just so much. Like it was great to see them. Right? They didn't, like you said, they didn't have to bring no legends back. They didn't really have to go outside of the organization, right? But I do like the Jordan Grace. I love that. That was hype. That was really great. But like you said, the roster is so deep with talented women. It's amazing, man. Look, I love to hate Tiffany Stratton, right? But the girl is talented.
And you still care enough to hate.
When you could just bring that natural heat to you, it's a sign of great things to come from this person if they could just draw heat from just being around.
Agreed.
I can't say hey, I got it. She gave me a little Mandy Rose type of vibe. And if y'all know me, y'all know I do not hate no Mandy Rose. Just putting that out there, okay? That's the kind of vibe she gave me.
You're a fan of, huh? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, I have to be now.
Yeah, a little more fandom appreciation for.
Yeah, I gotta be now. I love that part, okay? But Cool McCain, take a bow. Because Bayley won the Women's Royal Rumble.
Bayley and her cakes, yes.
And thank you.
They were extra cakey this weekend.
Thank you. Because I was like, so I was so focused on the other cakes, right? Bayley turned around and pointed to the sign. I was like, oh yeah, you cannot have a cake conversation in the NBA and not count Queen Cakes. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what to do with this man right now. But yeah, he got his pick right. Bayley
Cakes by the ocean.
Bayley won. And then, surprisingly, I don't know how I figured this part out, but surprisingly, the undisputed WWE Championship was the second match of the card.
I was shocked with that. I was kind of shocked with that.
That was weird placement.
It was, but I was like, they're not gonna have both Rumble matches close to each other.
Yeah, but I would have thought they would have had the U.S. title
right
first, and then the heavyweight title. That just goes to show you it wasn't really their main priority. They already knew Roman, whatever was going to be.
Right, we all knew.
We knew Roman was going to walk away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on the match, though? And how it played out?
Yeah, we knew
Yeah,
we knew what was going to happen. We knew what was going to happen. We knew Roman was going to win. AJ's just sliding more and more into the dark side.
That makes Cool happy. Cool wants a dark AJ.
Oh yeah, the dark side AJ. That's my guy.
So it's
trust no one.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting on the road to WrestleMania. What was the match last year? It was Jay and Roman, right? At the Rumble.
Was that at the Rumble? No.
Yes.
I think it was Kevin Owens.
No, Owens was the Rumble. Jay was the elimination champion.
Okay, yeah, all right.
I think it was Kevin Owens and Roman at the Rumble because that's when Sami Zayn put the trigger on Roman.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Which led into elimination chamber.
So I just want to say, shout out to Damien. His comment here is wild, but shout out to Damien because he correctly stated that we were gonna have the TNA Women's Champion in the match.
He did.
I don't think they're gonna do that.
He did. I remember Damien calling it out. He did. Yeah. I got to give him his props for that.
Damien, you get to take a
shout out to that, Damien.
All right, so we all knew Rumble's going to return. Yeah. Then the U.S. title match. We all picked it right, but I did say by some form of fashion, Logan Paul was going to find a way to win.
Yeah, we all knew Logan Paul was going to win.
Yeah. Can't lose your first title defense.
I know. I was emphasizing it wasn't going to be clean.
X-Mac Cardona that when he won the Intercontinental title just to lose it the next day on Raw. So
yeah, but it's because they had no respect for Cardona.
I was just saying it wasn't gonna be it was gonna be in a fashion that people didn't like. Consequently, Kevin Owens got disqualified.
Damien says thanks. No problem, man. No problem.
So I'll politely take that one because I just something crazy was gonna happen for Logan Paul to retain the title. He wasn't gonna retain it.
It was crazy. It was that.
Which is funny because everybody's like, "Oh, now WWE refs have eyes now. Now y'all got eyes." What was this last time?
Well, now listen. Now that he's signed to WWE, he's gonna be working more matches. He's making a lot of money, man. You gotta get your money's worth.
I mean, you know how people are. You know how people are. Then that brings us to the men's Royal Rumble.
We can all take bows there.
Forget the bows, all right?
I love the fact that my boy is back, though.
Forget the bows. We're going to get to that.
Idolo is back.
When Jay Uso came out, what did I put in the chat?
Yeah, what did I put?
Like, what did I put in the chat?
First, I was like, yeah.
For whatever reason, I was like,
there was no other way you could go.
What?
There literally was no other way you could go than what they did with Jay came out.
Jimmy comes out number 2.
And Jimmy shows up, yeah.
And then Grayson Waller comes out third, yeah.
It just, like, you can feel, like, not just Waller, but you felt the whole atmosphere changed when Jimmy music hit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
When they said, "Oh, so," everybody was like,
"Oh, we doing this at the Rumble." Now, unfortunately, neither one of them eliminated each other, which kind of messed up.
Hey, Wise, Damien got a question for you. He says, "Who told Andrade he can wear the Black Panther mask?"
Listen, I'm just glad he's back. He's back in WWE.
Andrade didn't make it a return. With
That
the
was a good
wifey,
move.
with the wifey in the backstage, spraying him down, making sure he's all tan and ready to go.
Hey, he wanted to be back home. He wanted to be back where his wifey is. She just resigned for a few more years. He wanted to be with his wife. Like, I can't blame him. And right now, WWE is hot. Like, with everything that's going on, and this is where the money is.
And they weren't really giving him no real push in AEW. They oversaturated, so they could use a couple of people and still be good.
On the show that I've done, and we've discussed AEW, that's always been my issue is you're signing all these rethreads from WWE, right? And you're not giving the opportunity to the young talent that you signed here at AEW. But WWE, what they always find a way is, right? They always find a way to interject the young talent when their superstars are about to fade out. When you start losing a John Cena, when Randy Orton is getting up there in age, you start replacing them with the Braun Breakers. You start replacing them. Roman Reigns and these guys, they're getting up there in age. You start bringing in the Carmelo Hayes. You start bringing in. That's where AEW falls behind on WWE. Is they don't know when and how to interject their young talent to start taking over for the big boys.
Now, me and Cool, we need to have a funny conversation right now.
Let's get it.
Get your boy out. Get your boy R-Truth, man.
Oh, I love R-Truth. That shit was funny.
Get your boy R-Truth.
I love the fact that he got thrown out of the Women's Royal Rumble. And his interaction with the Judgment Day in the Rumble was. I'm telling you, it is one of the best storylines going right now.
Get your boy.
It's lighthearted too, right? It's different. It's not like, oh, he trying to do this, he trying to do it. He's just a clueless dude that thinks he's in a group and he doing all this stuff because he think he part of the group, but he really not. So it's a great angle, and it's great that the only person that can pull his off is R-Truth. He think he in the women's room.
Yeah, so no, great, man. That you give R-Truth the opportunity, and he's always been able to shine in situations like this.
And I literally messaged Cool was like, "Get your boy, man." When he ran down the ramp doing the Women's Royal Rumble. Like, every
segment he's done with Judgment Day has been hilarious. And even when he got jumped, even the week after he got jumped, and he was talking about it was the initiation, and he knew no clue. Funny. It was funny, and you can see Damian Priest not trying to laugh, but he's breaking cats, like he's making dudes break character with how funny he is right now.
And then he actually gets to the right Rumble.
He's Uzi.
He actually picks the right Rumble to get into, and he's telling Dominic to tag him in.
Well, it's just like when he threw JD into the ring, and Jay just eliminates him as soon as he throws him into the ring.
Your boy R-Truth, bro. Get your boy.
It's like JD gets speared by Braun Baker before he even steps into the ring. And it was
another funny part for me. My man Pat McAfee made a business decision.
Yo.
He made a business decision.
I'm a little disappointed because that's just a wasted spot. Even though it was funny that when he went in the first time and he got out, and then when he went back in and he realized the size of Omos, and he's like, "Yeah, nah, let me just get rid of myself. I came here to just talk. I'm not prepared to wrestle."
They're trying to do everything they can to try to make somebody care about, to make new Homo sapiens.
I know a lot of people. is wise, but more. How can I put it? At more disdain levels than you
Yeah.
wise about Pat McAfee. I loved it. You gotta have some type of moment. You gotta have some type of lighthearted
No,
moment
it
in
was
there.
it was funny. It was funny when he decided, like, yeah, no, I'm gonna jump out and not interject myself. And it's funny because Corey Graves like, yeah, I hope you get speared.
That's my favorite commentary team. Them three is my favorite commentary
Yeah.
team. If I get
Yeah,
them three, I'm
that's
good.
good.
But I'm just, it's like, and the fact that Pat McAfee was like, oh, I'm not, I'm in the room. He didn't even know he was in the room. It was like the way he played.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't know, or he didn't know, or he's a good liar, one or the other.
It worked. Because when he started saying, Pat, let's go back, get out the ring, go back to the commentary. I don't need you getting hurt. This is not the time. Any other Rumble, I wouldn't mind because you actually, Pat, people, I don't think people understand. Pat McAfee can actually wrestle.
Listen, his War Games match is still one of my favorite matches in NXT history.
Yeah.
That he turned up and turned out on that show, on that card. That after that match, he really earned my like. I know he really loves this industry, and he wouldn't do anything if he couldn't perform. He wouldn't do it. So he's
Him
earned
and
my.
Bad Bunny. That's the two
Yeah,
people I love.
those are two guys. Like these are the two guys that really love the industry, and they would not do anything to give a black eye to the business. They just wouldn't do it. And if they can perform to how they feel is worthy of being in that ring, they won't do it. And so they are students of the game. They are guys who love the business, who sees like, hey, this is a story. And there's some great storytellers, man. Pat McAfee, kudos to you for being one hell of a talented individual.
Yes.
And then
now that gets us down to two. Either way, we were gonna be right. CM Punk or Cody Rhodes. That's how I went. The turning point is when CM Punk said, "I didn't wait 10 years to lose to Dusty Kid." I was like, "Yeah, that's the moment right there. You finna lose this match. Yeah. That's the moment right there." But I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I seen two guys in a Rumble go at it that long at the end.
It was a good match, good story. I enjoyed the participants in it. It had its funny moments. It had its dominant moments with Breaker coming in and spearing everybody, and it gave Gunther an opportunity to really shine. He really was chopping people and doing what he does, doing what Gunther does. There was a lot more than just Cody and CM Punk, man. There was so much in that match with Drew coming out where he came out, and just everything in between. I just felt that they the way they ended it was good for me. Like to have Cody the way Cody wins it, it was a great start to finishing the story.
And speaking of finishing, Cody he didn't even hesitate. He pointed to the sign. He pointed straight at Roman. Ain't no hesitation. Like we already know. I'm coming for you.
Pretty much. As he should though.
You gotta look at it as why. Like, yes, Seth has been great. Yes. Since he's been the champion, Seth is great. Yes, whatever. But Roman is that guy right now. He he is the top of the food chain in this industry. I don't care what anybody says. It don't matter. He is the top of the food chain. And especially after last year's match, there was nobody else. There was no one else. He had to choose Roman.
Yeah, but my thing is, we watched a lot of Royal Rumbles, and they usually don't give it away. You
No,
know,
we always knew if he
we
was
all like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
we know where they going.
We knew,
but
we knew he was in the Rumble. Who is
they
going
don't
to
give
be?
it. They don't give it away. They make them wait to make their announcement or something. Nah.
So now we know. So now we know what matches elimination. What brand is Elimination Chamber now? It's going to be Raw because we know they need to figure out who's going to be the number one. Who's going to be the number one contender, or if they're going to make it a tournament. Because if Seth is going to be out, whatever, we don't know.
Speaking of being out, you want to take this one, Cole? Cool.
I definitely can take this one.
Go ahead.
One,
he has some big news.
Brooks needs to now be instituted into the Street Clothes Society. Torn pec.
Torn pec or bicep?
I mean bicep. Yeah, sorry. And he's going to be out. What was the prognosis? Like 3 to 6 months. Best case scenario. No WrestleMania.
Back for SummerSlam.
Possibly back for SummerSlam. Then you think about that, along with the fact that Seth Rollins and different reports say grade 2 MCL tear, he could be back in time for WrestleMania. A lot of reports say that's pushing it and giving him a high risk of re-injury. Personally, I understand that it's WrestleMania, but if you get, and I put this in the chat earlier, if neither one of those guys can go, instead of doing what people want and taking somebody like Gunther and just throwing him in there. Yeah, he had a little confrontation with Seth Rollins, but it doesn't make sense when he's still the Intercontinental Champion. What I want people to understand is what Triple H has done is he's brought levels of storytelling to the show. Gunther's not going to walk out, get in Seth Rollins' face, and then face him at WrestleMania. That's not how they do it anymore. That's how Vince did it. But now they're doing more like it's a tease. 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line, they'll have a match. They will have a match, and it will be at one of the big 4 premium live events. It's not going to be WrestleMania. The first thing you got to do is at some point you got to figure out who's taking the belt off Gunther. That person has to take the belt off Gunther. Then Gunther's got to build up some wins in the main event scene. Then a title shot. It's going to happen. There's no doubt about it. It's going to happen. But back to CM Punk. This sucks for him, man, because he had a couple of injuries in AEW, right? Just got back, first match in WWE, hurt again. So I'm disappointed for him, but he got to think about what is it that he can do better to try to keep this, rash of injuries from continuing to happen to him. We need CM Punk out there. We need him stirring up the pot. We need people hating it. So now all this buildup we've had, we can't do anything with it for 3 to 6 months. So that sucks, but it is what it is. Hope he gets better. Hope he gets everything taken care of, and he's back, locked, cocked, and ready to rock when he can be.
That's a tough one. That is a definitely a tough one. They did announce that CM Punk will be on Raw tonight to address said injury.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to what he has to say, similar to what they did with Seth Rollins last week. That's a big one. That's a big one. So
and
why
there was a point in the match as well that you could see him saying that to the my tricep. You know what I'm saying? He actually said it to the ref. The people that were live said.
So Wise.
Yes.
What was supposed to be the main event for night 1 is pretty much up in smokes. Where does WWE go from here?
For night 1, you give it to Rhea and Rip Bailey. Why don't you go with Rhea and Bailey? I wouldn't understand why you wouldn't go there. Mommy's one of the hottest women in all the sport. She's probably one of the hottest individuals in all of wrestling, even men and women. Like everyone loves seeing Mommy on top. Let's not kid it. Let's not kid ourselves. Mommy's it right now. So why not give it to her and and the Queen of Cakes.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna be that guy to ask this question. Cool. There are some rumblings, even though it look the way Damage Control is right now. Kabuki Warriors Tag Team Champion, Io Sky Women's Champion, Bayley just won the Royal Rumble. It should say Bayley goes after Mommy. But there have been some rumblings, okay? Not big ones, some mild rumblings. Double turn. Bayley picks Io.
That can happen. I mean, because you think about it this way. She hasn't been getting really any help from Damage Control. She knows it. She hasn't been acknowledging it, but she knows it, right? Like she's not a ridiculous woman. She understands what's happening. So she could play a little close to the vest, not say anything like the first week. Because think about it, she doesn't have to come out and say who she's going to fight this week, right? Cody already did that. You could go the route of saying, you know what, we're going to wait a few weeks, and then you see Damage Control start to trip on her a little bit, and then she says, you know what, okay, that's how we doing. Yo, I'm taking your belt. So you could see that happen. It just depends on how they're going to play it. My guess would be, and I said this before the Rumble match, so I'm going to continue with it because I like it. My guess would be she faces Mommy and loses. And then in losing to Mommy, Damage Control beat her and kick her out.
Could happen.
Damien disagrees.
Well, Damien disagrees with a lot of things. So let's go back here. So Damien says, I swear if they make Cody versus Roman a triple threat match with The Rock, I call BS. This is going to be like what WWE did with Edge is stupid. It shouldn't be a triple threat, but that's the only way to save Roman Reigns if they don't want him to lose the belt. He would have to either pin The Rock or Cody pin The Rock. Because The Rock can take the fall and it doesn't really affect him. Damien says Rhea not facing Bayley. I see Becky or Nia Jax going for Rhea title. Here's the truth. Neither one of them have to win the Royal Rumble to go after her title. And that's why I picked Bayley, because I'm like, Bayley's the only one of the people that has a storyline reason to really at least compete for the championship that needs to win to get it. Because Bayley can't compete for the Raw Women's Championship and she's on SmackDown unless she wins the Royal Rumble. Yeah. So she was the only one that needed to win. That's why I figured she would. And this expedites her getting kicked out of Damage Control. Her own group.
All right. That's the Royal Rumble. I already, why is he want to hear? But I already said the fact that Pat McAfee showed up, Royal Rumble couldn't go no lower than a B. All for real. That's the fact that Pat McAfee showed up.
I had a great time. The show I tuned out for a little bit during the matches. I really just wanted to see the Rumble matches. I didn't really watch the Universal title match, and I didn't watch the United. I really only wanted to watch the Rumble matches. So
we didn't miss much.
I saw some of them, but I wasn't really into it like I was into the Rumble. Like I was falling asleep during those matches, honestly.
Because they were not. And that's the thing why I'm like, you can't start with a Rumble, right? You had to put the United States Championship match first. That should have been first. Then the Women's Rumble. Then the Roman Reigns for the 4-way. Then the Men's Rumble. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to put things in an order where you're building up. And I think that was the one flaw about this show was the way the card was constructed, and it needed another match.
Damien, Jay got the biggest popularity of everybody.
And here's the question that Playmaker's answering. It says, who do y'all think had the biggest pop, Jordan, Jade, or Naomi? definitely Jade.
It's
I
not even
would
close.
I would say Jordan and Naomi's was kind of close, but Jade's was a different stratosphere.
Yeah, Jade's was ridiculous. The pop for Jade.
Right. It's like you're a kid and you waiting to get that seal of approval that you can go to your favorite theme park, and then you finally.
AP, I'm gonna say something here, and I'm gonna clean this up before I say it. So normally, I'm not interested in like the women that are very like cut and abs and all that. But then I saw Jade for the first time. And when I saw Jade, I realized that I had made a mistake, and I needed to make sure that I was open to all the beautiful caked up and caked out women in the world. And I don't understand how you are that swole, but that caked out. That is like
And that fine too.
process.
She literally is the total package.
So now, well, you know who's transformed her body? Because I was just watching some old Impact matches. It's Jordan Grace. Like Jordan Grace has transformed her body. She was a big girl, right? But she had no definition. Now she's just
Power.
she's like, yeah, she's big Papa Pump Junior.
Mhm. She does give me Big Mama Pump vibes. If she came out with a Big Mama Pump vibe or a Big Mama Pump gimmick, I wouldn't even be mad. If she was the big bad booty mama, I wouldn't even be mad.
Well, we'll see the fallout of Monday Night Raw tonight in about 40 minutes from now. Here from CM Punk, we do have an Intercontinental Championship match with Kofi Kingston trying to take it off Gunther. I don't see it happening. But it is a match that's happening tonight. We're going to see the fallout of Judgment Day and how that goes, especially with R2 lurking around. So, Cool's going to take us the rest of the way because we got other stuff to talk about.
So we're going to answer Damon's question first. Damon says, what's your thoughts on Cody and Triple H's response to the question about Vince? Was Triple H wrong for saying that he said, and do y'all believe neither of them read the reports? Because I don't.
No. I'm actually happy Triple H went the route that he went. Because despite what happened, they still had an unbelievable turnout for the Royal Rumble. Then you had this big deal for Netflix for $5 billion. And then The Rock is on the executive board of TKO.
And he now has ownership of the name The Rock.
So Triple H saying, you know what?
But you know what? Vince has been giving him the ownership of The Rock. It's not like,
well, they still were getting part of the money because So this is the way I was breaking it down to one of my people who was asking me about it earlier. So when he would do movies, he would be like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, right? When he did like TV shows, he'd be Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He don't have to do that anymore. Now, if he wants to just say The Rock, he can just say The Rock anywhere. Because before, I think it was if I remember correctly, it was a joint ownership. Like he could use it, but he had to pay the WWE when he used it. So now he can use it, and he don't have to pay nobody. All the money he makes off of it, everything is all his now.
I could have sworn he gave an interview and talked about how Vince gave him The Rock. Like, gave him The Rock.
Yeah, he gave him the name. But my thing is, they were still getting a cut of the money he was making from using the name, which is why he wasn't using the name.
And it's crazy. That's why Jade's situation is crazy. Because she owns her name.
Yes, right? It's her real name.
Yeah. So she owns her name, and they're basically leasing it whenever they to sell the merch, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But she
AJ
owns her name.
Like that too.
So she could use her name for movies, and that's what she wants. That's the platform she wants to go. She wants to get into movies, and this is a
Storm
business
and the X-Men. That's the role for her. Storm and the X-Men.
This is the platform where you can actually start wrestling and leap into movies. It's been done.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You said X-Men. I'm like, as soon as you said that, you know who popped in my head? Because that woman played a hell of a Storm in X-Men.
Halle Berry?
Yes.
Yeah. If you're gonna reboot it, why not put Jade in that role? That's a different take on Storm.
That's some massive shoes to fill, I'm just saying.
Well, you're not gonna ask like the first movie her to come out and be Halle Berry, right? I mean, you're not have to do that in no movies, but I'm saying you can have her just have a completely different take. So you're not trying to replace or be the same character. You're going a completely different direction with the character. So you can have a new person.
AP, ask that question in about a month. Ask that question about a month.
So it couldn't have been a mistake. Now, what I will say is this, and I thought about this after say big ups to him because he was able to finish a grueling match, and he was in there for a minute after that happened. It could have got changed because of the injury. CM Punk could have been the original person that they wanted to win, but because of the injury, they caused the audible. That's happened before, right? But I think Cody was the one that they were picking the whole time. I just want to at least put that out there as something to make you go, If you don't know that reference, check out our Senior Hall things that make you go, You'll get it there.
I got a question that's somewhat related, but not. So I guess DDP is back in the WWE fold. Because he was very prevalent in the after show and throughout the show. So is he back is he back on the WWE Legends contract?
I would assume so. Because the only reason he was in AEW was Cody.
And if you didn't know, the reason why Wise is bringing that up because the first person to ask question of Cody during his press conference was Diamond Dallas Page.
And he was acknowledged as WWE Hall of Famer. That's important too.
Hey, it's good to see DDP.
Listen, I got number love for DDP. He's one of the one of the most hardest working dudes in the business. He really, if you really want to see someone who started a business late and built himself into a superstar, it's DDP. So
I need to address this comment here. I've heard this comment quite a bit. And again, I want you people to understand Gunther is in the middle of his own story. You want to take an unfinished story, which let's just say, for example, WWE does what y'all want, right? We're just going to take Gunther out of the Intercontinental thing and we're going to have him drop the belt and then we're going to put him up against whoever is going to be the champion. Because we don't even know if it's going to be Seth Rollins because he's out hurt. So here's the problem with that. You then just basically said, we spent all this time building up the Intercontinental Championship to take a wet, nasty poop on it and throw it in the trash. They're not going to do that. Just because y'all like Gunther, they're not going to do that. I like Gunther, but I understand the progression of stories. They're not going to stop it because, and it's not just you, Dan. It's a whole lot of people. They're like, it should be Gunther. Gunther should win. Gunther.
And they voicing more strongly than you.
Oh, my bad, Playmaker. What did you say?
No, I was saying those people that you're talking about, they voicing themselves more strongly than Damien is.
Yeah. And it's like, let him finish what he's doing, and then he's going to step into the next level. It doesn't have to be at WrestleMania. Y'all want at WrestleMania, y'all want him to win the Rumble. He was never going to win the Rumble because he's not through with his own story. If they take the belt off of him, y'all be mad and do a tournament with a bunch of mid-card guys that nobody cares about and one of them win, then you'll go back to not caring about the Intercontinental Championship. As long as Gunther has it, you care. Whoever is the man that dethrones Gunther, you're going to care about. That's why they're not going to do it.
Has anybody who was a champion won the Rumble?
I think Seth did it one time when he was Intercontinental Champion, when he won it.
That's something for me to look up the next show. Anyway. Go ahead, cool. We got 30 minutes left.
So AP says this is random. I don't know why I want AOP to get the tag belts. I know why you want AOP to get the tag belts. Because AOP was in the WWE for a long time on the main roster. It did nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you want to make them a threat.
And they was getting hurt too. So
yeah.
They were
getting hurt too. I mean, they were getting hurt. But I mean, they were doing nothing when they weren't hurt.
Listen, they messed them up because as soon as they brought them onto the main roster, they got rid of Paul Ellering, and that was stupid. That was stupid when you got rid of Paul Ellering, and now they were laminated. They were just being bodyguards for whoever, and just stupid. Now you can bring back the element of Paul Ellering. You have the mastermind and manager, and bring them in with Karrion Kross and Scarlett to make their own. Because it's when do you go? Is 20 factions enough, right? But it's kind of reminiscent back of the old days. Like they've always been times when there've been multiple factions. Like you've had times when you had the Horsemen, with the Varsity Club, with Sting and Luger and his crew, and it's always been about the factions. And so are they going with 20 factions in WWE? I don't know. I think it's a good way to start utilizing talent together. But I'm glad the AOP is back. If they can, them and DIY had some great matches on NXT.
They did.
So that's why I've enjoyed.
Sanity had some good matches with them down there too.
Yeah. So it's good to see them back, but I don't know. Yeah. They're gonna have to split up them titles. They're gonna have to split up them tag team titles.
That's the big thing. I've been saying it. So Damien says Seth wins U.S. title and was WWE champ. Just saying, if Seth can have a mid-card title and main title, why can't Gunther? Well, there's several different ways I can go to answer this question.
One thing is Seth did it at SummerSlam, not at the Rumble.
Well, yeah, that. The other thing I was going to say is simply this: Seth Rollins' star was already brighter than Gunther's is right now. I know a lot of the marks for Gunther, you don't want to hear that, but Seth Rollins was already top tier. Number two, they're not going to do the two title thing anymore. It's dumb. It's another way you devalue the Intercontinental Championship. And it doesn't give a defined line to get to both belts. It's supposed to be a mid-card championship, right? We've seen some stars have it. I get it. But if you're already the world champ, you don't need that belt as well. They're not going to do this in today's WWE because it doesn't make sense. Did you guys want to add anything to those thoughts?
AP, she's already a heel.
Yeah, I was going to respond to that.
Yeah, there we go. AP says Bayley won, is she going to turn heel? Yeah,
I don't know where you've been the last few months, but
she's already a heel.
Maybe felt like she was getting some positive vibes from the crowd.
You know what? It was because she was getting mad love from the arena. Bayley was getting mad love, which was great to see. It was great to see because
the tights got her love.
She's been one she's been someone that's been constant. Like she's been there. So to see the crowd warm up to her and give her the love and respect that she deserves.
Like in today's WWE, people really don't care about faces and heels.
So he says, turn on her team for the belt. They're gonna turn on her before she's turning up.
Somebody's turning on somebody. We just don't know how it's gonna go.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna turn on her because they've been showing this out for some weeks.
Yeah,
they've been hating on Bayley. They've been hating on Bayley.
They are using Bayley's vision to climb up the ranks, and it's working.
Yep.
So we did last week actually end up talking about 2 TNA different pay-per-views. 2 different shows, and I wasn't aware. So the only 2 things that we really haven't already talked about with TNA, and of course I know Wise watches, so if he wants to add anything, fine. But Ash by Elegance, the former Dana Brooke, she had a little trailer that they played for her.
She's copying Toni Storm to me. To me, she's just biting Toni Storm. Like it's kind of it feels. That's how it feels to me. It's like she's imitating Toni Storm and kind of biting her. So I'm really not feeling what she's doing.
That image in my head just didn't.
And she's not timeless.
Thanks to Waz for painting that image in my head, because now I'm just like, that doesn't look or sound right.
Toni Storm is caked up.
I will never argue that statement, sir. So Damien says best part of the Rumble was Pat eliminating himself and Cole trolling him.
It was.
Shut up, Michael. Shut up, Cole.
That was pretty funny.
See, but they actually friends, so they can do that.
Yep.
They're just like
disagree. I don't disagree with what you're saying, Wise. I don't disagree at all. The other thing was Mustafa Ali. We got a video about his character, which it looks interesting.
Is he still called Mustafa Ali?
Yes.
Yes. Because a lot of these guys, they're using their real names when they come from the indies. So if they keep it, that's their actual name. So they're able to keep that and use that wherever they go. But his thing is looks like he's like a mockery of like the president type.
Yeah, he's trying to be like a big political agenda.
So really interested in that. We got the rematch. We talked about it, but we had the rematch between
Trinity and
Naomi and Jordan Grace, and Jordan Grace, obviously won the rematch. That was coming. Okada and the Motor City Machine Guns beat the system. Okada's the hot new thing. We were talking about. I was saying how with TNA, one of the ways you can kind of tell where they're going is if someone's new to the company and they're already like a star, or if it's a new group that forms. So if a new group's formed, they're going to win their first matches. If a new star comes and teams against that group that just won the first match, they're going to win instead, because that's TNA's formula. It's been their formula since the beginning. New star, put a rocket on him. Oh, another new star comes, put a rocket on him. Next thing you know, there's 5 people with rockets, and the rockets are all crashing into each other and blowing up. Right. Nick Nemeth had his first match. He takes out like 4 people with the renamed what did they name it? They renamed his move, and it's a weird name for me. But
is that the zigzag no more?
The zigzag. It's not called a zigzag anymore. We didn't know they had to rename it. So he has a new name, but he hit like 3 or 4 people with it. I'm like, bro, you're new to the company. I get it. You're an established guy. I get it. But to zigzag multiple people when they're coming to get you after the match, not including the guy that you want to match against, like, are we saying that it's one of the most that's one of the most dangerous phrases in all of sports entertainment? Are we trying to make this like the arcade? Like, what are we doing?
Good old Nick. Good old Nick.
Yeah, I just want to throw it out there. So, Wise, like I said, you weren't here with us when we were discussing this last week because we kind of Actually, we did 2 shows thinking we were doing 1. Did you have any thoughts from anything else from the TNA show?
I haven't really watched it. Seen some of it. Seen the Moose fight. And, I want to see in what direction they're gonna go with Moose being heavyweight champion, and who's gonna really step up to fight him. Because Okada's a free agent, so Okada's not gonna stay there. That was probably one off appearance. Do you insert nickname into the championship picture already? How do you do this? Do you give Frankie Kazarian his time to shine? He came back last year for this reason to make his last run impactful one on TNN. So there's a couple of questions to be asked.
Yep. Now they claim in one of Nick Damon's promos that he's gonna go through the competition and earn his championship shot. But we know that that's never really the truth.
So I guess Macklin is his first big feud.
Supposedly. Supposedly. We're seeing AJ Francis also slide his way into some different things within AEW. I mean, not AEW. TNA. Yeah, and that'll be interesting to see.
Flop dollar.
See, there you go, man. You never let the man live it down. One flop. Y'all never let him live it down.
You gotta think Michael Cole on. You gotta think Michael Cole on that one. That was all Michael Cole.
It was. So on the AEW, and not a lot of big things happen in AEW.
Right, you don't sound too thrilled when you said AEW.
Yeah, they didn't really do a lot to really get my juices flowing this week.
They probably made a business decision, sir.
I will say this. I will say this every week. Love that. I'm a big fan of the Bang Bang Scissor game. Penta lost to Hangman Adam Page in the first match. Hook and Joe kind of had a little altercation verbally, and he said, "I'm not through with you" and all this stuff. So whatever with that.
That's still going.
Yeah. So Damian. So kind of close it out. Speaking of TNA and former WWE stars, if TNA and WWE are teaming up together, why haven't they used any of the men's TNA wrestlers? This is 2 men's rumbles. We haven't had any surprises because I don't really think it's that they're teaming up.
I think Damian missed the beginning of our show.
Yeah, he definitely did. So it's one of those things where they just kind of go ahead. You got to play Michael.
So in past years, and why you know this, past years we look for who's going to return, which Hall of Famer is going to make that great comeback just for the Rumble, right? Triple H was like, nah, I have a deep, talented roster on both sides. That I don't need no big surprises. I don't need to grab somebody who wrestled 10 years ago outside of CM Punk and bring them back just to bring excitement to the Rumble. And if you saw the crowd knew who everybody was coming out.
I felt that it was WWE giving Jordan Grace her flowers and giving her the opportunity to shine and let people put a spotlight on her. They didn't necessarily have to do it, and I felt that it was something that was she's worked hard to become to get to where she's at. So just the fact that WWE acknowledged her, and maybe in a couple of years when she's a free agent, who knows, she might come to the company. But It gave
Oh,
you
they're
the
definitely
opportunity.
swiping the first chance they get. They're definitely swiping.
It gave her an opportunity to see how it is on the other side, how it is to be a part of WWE now, and from all the chatter in the back, it's like they're one big happy family back there. Like this is like one of the best locker rooms that there is, and this is with bringing in Punk.
Right.
Like you got to see how deep, including Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, how deep this roster really is.
Yeah, I also thought that it was a great idea for the women's rumble to bring in a current wrestler that you would know, even if they're from another company, versus going out and getting a Hall of Famer that's not going to show up any other time. Right? It's like they kind of have, and you got to think about this. This is TKO now. This is not just WWE, right? So it's a different mentality. If we can give one or two people that are from somewhere else a little shine, fine, right? Especially on the women's side. Um, because women wrestling is kind of taking an upswing right now. So if you're gonna do one, it makes more sense to have someone come from the women's side. Obviously, the champ makes sense, and it gives them, like why I said, some exposure, but also it allows them to have somebody that's a current wrestler there versus somebody again that you may see for that show, and they may be there for 2 months and then they're gone, and never to come back for another 5 years. So this, I think, there's a better usage of the spot. It's like we complain about when they take and do like like what they did on the men's side, right? When they take a spot and get a Pat McAfee. But then you're like kind of like, oh, well, if they give Jordan Grace a spot, why don't they give, Moose a spot? Like, they're not gonna do that, right? They're not gonna do that. But they will do the women because they did it with Mickey James. So they kind of opened up a positive bridge there between the women's divisions there. But you're probably not gonna ever see that. Especially since WWE's poached a couple of guys from Impact and had them debut. So that may be another reason why you won't see that. But
yeah, like the greatest debut in Royal Rumble history came from TNA.
Yeah. So if I'm TNA, you can't have my guys. You could take one of the ladies and have her compete, but I'm not giving none of the guys.
But gentlemen, I have to head out. It was a pleasure being a part of the show. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, sir. We're about to be done in a few minutes ourselves. All right, so Damien says, I'm not saying they should bring in legends, but at least bring us something unexpected. The Men's Rumble returns of WWE roster is cool, but we see them every week without bringing someone like Motor City. Well, we just answered that question, sir. I mean, obviously, you might have been typing while we're answering it. TNA is not going to send their best men to WWE. WWE will poach your talent, right? They will poach your talent. So if you're going to send all of your best talent to WWE, you're understanding that they might not be, they go come back, but they're going back to WWE. And
like,
another thing is,
and then you send them to one of the big four events where there's going to be a big crowd and a different atmosphere that they have never been a part of.
Right. And the Motor City Machine Guns, they're a good team. We'll use them since you said them. But they're not guys that have performed on this high of a level before. And I'm not saying that from people not knowing them, but I'm saying they've always been like on the indies. They weren't part of WWE and left or anything like that. So for them to bring in guys like that, I would have expected them to bring in, if you're talking about somebody from WWE, it had to be somebody that was already, probably had been in WWE before, that you would want to bring back, right? You're not somebody brand new that's never been in WWE. Because you bring them to WWE, you're not going back. If they ain't seen that before.
I think it's easier to do the women's because Mickey James they already had that relationship with Mickey James, and they were able to work that out. And again, it gives TNA, it gives them exposure, right, on a great platform. You're not your division, your knockout divisions is probably the best it's been ever. Even though you just lost Trinity Fatu and you just lost Deanna Purrazzo, you got some young talented people over there. This helps you keep the light on that division. So for me, it was a good thing. Their men's division is already established. They got names over there, whatever. It was, to me, it was WWE giving them an alley oop and Jordan Grace dunking it and doing a great job. And And again, it's someone who's worked hard to get to where she's at. I'm glad they gave someone like her the opportunity.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do something a little different here. We're gonna just double up on AEW next week because we talked about the Rumble, been hyped about that. A lot of things went on. We got the show starting here in about 12 minutes. It's gonna take more than that really to dig into the little AEW. Even though it wasn't the most hype weeks, it still had some development. So we're gonna hit you with a double dose of AEW next week, some TNA, and then we're gonna recap what happened on Monday Night Raw. Maybe a little bit what happens on NXT. We never know what might happen there because they do have the Dusty Rhodes Classic going on, and also some SmackDown. So good people, we about to close up shop. Playmaker, any last words, any last thoughts before we roll on up out of here for the evening?
Simply put, the road to WrestleMania has officially begun. All roads lead to Philadelphia.
And I'll be there.
I think I'm gonna get tickets to Raw after WrestleMania, so I might go down there. Huh?
I want those too. Holler at me. I want to go that too.
All right, let's do this. Let's make it happen.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna just say, man, perfect person won the Rumble for me. He needs to finish the story or the triple threat so he doesn't take a pin. He can't lose the Roman Reigns again. We were talking earlier. We were talking about like why the WWE and not the Seth Rollins title. There's one thing I didn't get to bring up then. I'm gonna just real quick 1 minute. Cody's dad won what's the predecessor to the WWE Championship, the big gold belt. Dusty won that. What did Dusty not win? What finishes the story for Cody and his family? The WWE Championship and that lineage. That's why he'll never go after Roman. That's why he'll never go after Rollins. Because then he's going doing something his dad's already done. This is blazing a new trail. That's what he wants to do. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this episode. For everyone who was able to hop in with us live, we greatly appreciate it. Everyone who checks out the replay, we greatly appreciate you as well. And just remember, hashtag is real to us. We'll see you next week, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And always remember, tell two of your friends or your enemies, just because they don't like you doesn't mean they won't like us. And we out.